From Washington, this is VOA News. I'm David Byrd reporting. Government and rebel sources are reporting that a deal has been worked out to allow evacuation of civilians to continue in eastern Aleppo, Syria. However, thousands of stranded civilians spent Saturday waiting for word they could leave. A Syrian rebel negotiator said that a deal had been worked out with the backing of Russia and Iran, but that statement was not confirmed. Meanwhile, a Syrian government official told Reuters news agency there was a deal to evacuate eastern Aleppo and 4 other besieged areas. The International Committee of the Red Cross said that thousands of cold, scared, and injured people are waiting to leave the city. A previous deal to evacuate rebel-held areas of Aleppo collapsed Friday when explosions and gunfire were heard. The rebels and the government each blamed the other for the ceasefire collapse. Thousands of protesters gathered in downtown London in solidarity with those trapped in Aleppo. Abdulaziz al-Mashi, the co-founder of the Syrian Solidarity Campaign, said the protest was to show support for the people trapped in Aleppo.
By doing nothing to protect civilians in Syria and allowing war criminals to carry out massacres and war crimes against the Syrian people, you are part of these crimes. So we want the international community to uphold the international law in Syria and punish the war crimes.
A rally was also held outside Downing Street to hear speeches and prayer from a Syrian imam. Meanwhile, hundreds of people, many of them Turkish immigrants, protested the ongoing war in Syria at 2 locations in Berlin, Germany. For more, visit our website. This is VOA News. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has ended his thank you tour in Mobile, Alabama, with many of the same promises that led to his election. Trump told thousands gathered at a football stadium that he would build a wall with Mexico, rebuild infrastructure, increase the size of the U.S. military, and care for U.S. veterans.
I'm asking Congress to support the construction of new roads, bridges, airports, tunnels, and railways all across this nation. And we will put our people back to work.
Earlier, Trump announced that he had chosen Republican Congressman Mick Mulvaney to be his White House budget director. Mulvaney is a fiscal conservative who has even pushed his own Republican Party colleagues to be more aggressive in reducing federal spending. Emotional funerals were held for 13 policemen killed when a suicide car bomb exploded next to a bus carrying off-duty military personnel in the Turkish city of Kayseri Saturday. Turkish news agencies reported that the bus stopped at a red light and a car pulled up alongside it and exploded. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan attributed the attack to Kurdish militants, though there was no immediate claim of responsibility. Multiple attacks in Turkey this year have been attributed to the Kurdistan Workers' Party, or the PKK, including twin bombings last week that targeted police in Istanbul. Those attacks killed 44 people, most of whom were riot police stationed outside a football stadium. The U.S. Defense Department says an agreement has been reached and China will return an underwater U.S. drone seized in international waters in the South China Sea on Thursday. Pentagon spokesman Peter Cook said in a statement that after what he called direct engagement with Chinese authorities, an understanding had been reached and China would return the drone. China's foreign ministry spokesman said earlier that its naval vessel had discovered unidentified equipment and checked it to prevent any navigational safety issues. China also accused the United States of hyping up the incident, which occurred 93 kilometers from Subic Bay in the Philippines. Mourners braved ice and cold weather to line the streets as a procession of U.S. Marines led the hearse carrying the casket of former U.S. Senator and space pioneer John Glenn through the streets of Columbus, Ohio, Saturday. Vice President Biden was among the dignitaries attending a memorial service for Glenn. Biden said Glenn defined what it meant to be an American. For more, visit our website. I'm David Byrd in Washington.
That's the latest world news from VOA.